Hello everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. Made a couple tweaks to the graphics settings, so we should be at a much more solid frame rate now. And as you remember, we have just arrived here in Gridania. Got through the intro of the game. Well, not entirely. We're now in the in-game intro. So let's move onward. Here's a little tutorial about accepting quests, which you don't need. Coming to Gridania. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Gridania, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. Another green adventurer, I presume? I thought as much. We cannot allow strangers to wander Gridania unchecked and untested. Before you rush off and begin pestering every second citizen for work, I suggest you make yourself known at the Caroline Canopy. That's the headquarters of the local Adventurers Guild, in case you were wondering. The Caroline Canopy is the building you see behind me. Speak to Mother Mion within, and she will take you in hand. Giving you a quick overview here of what they call the duty list, which is basically your quest tracker. And they also have, let's see if I remember duty, nope, that's not it. That's not it either, it's talking about the armory chest. However, while that's up, let's take care of that. One of the nice things about the game is they've essentially got an entire different inventory for equipment called the armory chest. So what we are going to do is we're going to move. Okay, so there is just a place in armory option. Basic materials. Yeah, I'm just talking about high quality items, which are... Let's see... Let's pull up our character and do some comparisons. Unfortunately, they do not, at least this time, have direct mouse over comparisons. 613, so it's basically identical. We do want this helm on, because it is, even though it looks a little silly, because it is better. Fortunately, they allow us to hide headgear. Alright, they do some comparison. You can see the red negatives there. That belt. Aren't actually any better, any worse. Neither of those. Alright, so we're all equipped. This character I apparently didn't do too much with in 1.0 before bringing her over. She's only got 2 ranks here in Gladiator. Alright. So off we go to Mion, or Mione. However that is pronounced. Apparently my frame rate is not going to be a lot more steady. May have to tweak it a little. Well, well, what have we here? A wide-eyed and wondering young adventurer, come to put your name down at the guild, I assume? Welcome. Mione is my name, or Mother Mione as most call me, and the Caroline Canopy is my place. As the head of the Adventurers Guild in Gridania, I have the honor of providing guidance to the fledgling heroes who pass through our gates. No matter your ambitions, the Guild is here to help you obtain them. In return, we expect you to fulfill your duties as an adventurer by assisting the people of Gridania. And I clicked a little too fast, so apologies. To an outsider's eyes, all may seem well with our nation, but naught could be further from the truth. The people live in a state of apprehension and apparently floating barrels. The Ixal and various gangs of common bandits provide an unending supply of trouble compounded by the ever-present threat of the Garlean Empire to the north, and that is to say nothing of the Calamity. Even now, the wounds have barely begun to heal. Ah, but I speak of it as if you were there. Funny fact, we were, considering this is a 1.0 character. Forgive me, 5 years past, Eorzia was well nigh laid to waste when a dread worm emerged from within the lesser moon Dalamund, and rained fire upon the realm. It is this which people call the Calamity. Scarcely a square mile of the Twelveswood was spared the devastation. Yet despite the forest's extensive wounds, not a soul among us can recall precisely how it all happened. I am well aware of how improbable that must sound to an outsider. It is improbable, but it's also true. For reasons we can ill explain, the facts surrounding the Calamity are shrouded in mystery. There are as many versions of events as there are people willing to recount them. Yet amidst the hazy recollections and conflicting accounts, all agree on one thing, that Eorzia was saved from certain doom by a band of valiant adventurers, including myself, all version 1 characters. Whatever else we've misremembered, none of us have forgotten the heroes who risked life and limb for the sake of their realm, and yet, whenever we try to say their names, the words die upon our lips. And whenever we try to call their faces to mind, we see naught but silhouettes against a blinding glare. Thus have these adventurers come to be known as the Warriors of Light. Ahem. Pray do not feel daunted by the deeds of legends. We do not ask that you become another Warrior of Light, only that you do what you can to assist the people of Gridania. Great or small, every contribution counts. I trust you will play your part. All that's left then is to conclude the business of registration. Here's a quill. Scrawl your name right there. Oh, and I would appreciate if you used your real name. There's a special place in the 7th Hell for those who use amusing aliases. Just a bit of a dig at all those XX Sephiroth characters out there. Callowin Anadane, And you're quite sure that isn't an amusing alias? Very well, from this moment forward you are registered adventurer of Gridania, nation blessed of the elementals and the bounty of the Twelveswood. The guild expects great things from you. Look at what just arrived, another God's damned adventurer. Don't you start with that. Adventurers are the very salve that Gridania needs. The Elder Seer herself bade us welcome them with open arms. Do you mean to disregard her will? Of course not. Lest you forget, it is my sworn duty to uphold the peace. Am I to blame if outsiders bring mistrust upon themselves? You, adventurer, mind that you do not cause any trouble here, or I shall personally cast you out of this realm and into the 7th Hell. Ahem. Pay that outburst no mind. He meant only to counsel you. Suspicious characters have been prowling the Twelveswood of late, you see, and the Wood Whalers feel they cannot afford to take any chances. As is often the way with folk who live in isolation, Gridanians are wont to mistrust things they do not well know, your good self included. Fear not, however. Given a catalogue of exemplary deeds, and no more than a handful of years, the locals will surely warm to you. On behalf of my fellow citizens, I welcome you to Gridania. May you come to consider our nation as your own in time. Now then, you may depend on old Mother Mione to teach you a few things that every adventurer should know. Completed the quest there, get a little bit of a reward. basically telling us that we've kind of completed the introductory game tutorial there. And this introduces us to the idea of main scenario quests, which are indicated by this kind of flaming exclamation point. These indicate main game quests, or the main quest line through the game. Whereas the ones that look kind of like a teardrop are kind of side quests. Mjoln, proprietress of the Carline Canopy, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Let us begin at the beginning, shall we? Now that you are a formal member of the Adventurers Guild, we must be sure you have a firm grasp of the fundamentals of adventuring. To that end, I have 3 tasks I wish you to perform. Your first task is to visit the Aetheryte. This massive crystal stands in the middle of the Aetheryte Plaza, not far from the Carline Canopy. As a device that enables instantaneous transportation, the Aetheryte plays a key role in the life of the ever-wandering adventurer. Once you have located the crystal, all you need to do is touch its surface. A member of the Wood Whalers will be present to offer further instruction. For your second task, you are to visit the Lancers Guild. There is no better place to learn the arts of the polearm. Speak with Jillian, and she will explain the benefits of joining the guild. For your third and final task, I would have you visit the markets at the heart of Old Gridania's commercial district. There you shall find weapons and armor, and all the various items that an adventurer might need on her travels. There is, however, more to the markets than buying and selling goods. Speak with Parsimontre. Parsimonre? I don't know. It's a crazy elven name. And listen well to his counsel. The master merchant can be uncooperative at times, so be sure to offer him one of my famous eel pies. Like so many men, he is much more charitable when his stomach is full. Here, I made a batch not long ago. You have your task, Gallowin. May Nafika guide your path. Ah, and one more thing. Should you happen to come across any citizens in need, don't be afraid to offer a helping hand. I'm certain they will be pleased to meet an adventurer in whom they can confide their woes. Granted, the work they offer is unlikely to be of realm-shattering importance, but prove your worth and build a reputation, and in time folk will be more inclined to entrust you with matters of moment. And some basic instruction about using the main menu and navigating the map. And you can see that there are now a lot more characters around as we have been dumped into the main world proper. And those of you who have played 1.0 will notice that there are a lot more people visible than ever were in 1. And they've done this by pretty much overhauling the game engine. So let's pick up this quest here. A good adventurer is hard to find. Burdenat is searching for adventurers eager to prove their mettle. Newly come to Gridania, are you? In search of fame and fortune, perhaps? If you have confidence in your abilities, I urge you to speak with Chantelo of the God's Quiver. You can find him standing vigil before the Archers Guild. The creatures of the Twelves would have been behaving most unnaturally of late, and it has fallen to the God's Quiver to pacify them. Alas, they are sorely undermanned. For this reason, they seek able adventurers to supplement their ranks. I am certain that your offer of aid would be well received. And while we're here, we are going to touch the Aetheryte. Greetings, adventurer. I see you are faithfully following Mother Mione's instructions. Allow me to offer you a bit of instruction myself. I am Nisia of the Wood Whalers, and I know a thing or two about the Aetheryte. Yes, that big crystal right there. Aetherites are devices that tap into ethereal energies, and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place or to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of Aether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzia, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune herself to each one. Truly, few things in the world are so useful to an intrepid explorer. But you need not locate them all at once. Before rushing out into the wilds, I would suggest you start with the Aetherites found here in Gridania. Should you wish to learn more about the Aetherite or transportation magic, I am here to answer your questions. And that's informing us about the return spell, which is essentially like a Hearthstone in World of Warcraft or similar abilities in other MMOs, which allow you to return to your home point every so often. In this game, it's every 15 minutes. Let's pull up our map and see that we need to go talk to somebody here at the Archers Guild. And there are some quests over in Old Gridania and some other quests kind of scattered around. So we'll kind of work our way around the city and do them. Most of them are to introduce us to the city, to kind of give us a tour, show us where things are, which is certainly more than 1.0 ever did. And these small crystal-like shapes are the locations of the Aethernet crystals, which allow us to teleport around inside the city, which saves us a lot of running time. But another feature of 2.0 is the sprint ability, which makes it even easier to get around. Quickly attune here to the Aethernet shard. Which will allow us to teleport here to the Archers Guild from any shard in Gridania. Birdnet sent you to me? Well, inexperienced or not, if you wish to prove your worth to the people of Gridania, you are right to come. You do wish to prove yourself, do you not? And that gave us a couple of consumables. Well, one consumable, which is potion. Which I'll slot down here for now. Chantelot of the God's Quiver is testing adventurers by sending them out to slay forest fungars. Ordinarily, the forest fungars that inhabit the Central Shroud are not more than a nuisance. However, we have received reports that vast clouds of the creature's spores have rendered parts of the Twelvewood impassable, and ruined crops besides. We periodically cull the fungar population in order to prevent such occurrences, but the creatures have taken to spawning out of season, making it ever more difficult to keep their numbers in check. Though this is indeed a troubling development, the God's Quiver has more pressing concerns and can ill afford to waste time fighting fungars. If you wish to prove yourself, go to the Central Shroud and exterminate 6 of the pests. Use caution and approach them one at a time, lest your adventuring career be cut disappointingly short. Here to talk to Phoebus. Course correspondence. Phoebus of the Archers Guild wishes to deliver a sealed message to the markets. Hail, adventurer, might you have a moment? I'm in need of a trustworthy soul to deliver a missive to Parnell. You can find her in the shaded bower in the midst of the markets. Why would I not simply go and speak with her myself? Well, as I'm sure you have observed, Gridanians have a tendency to be rather... I mean, in person they can be, well, a little on the prickly side. The matter is not urgent. Simply hand over the missive the next time you find yourself in the markets. Please, it's a favor from one adventurer to another. So she's basically sending me to talk to somebody because she doesn't want to talk to somebody. And since we're here, we'll teleport back to the Aetherite Plaza. And we'll now head a little more west here to grab a couple of nearby quests. Preserving the past. Edel is looking for an adventurer to deliver a forgotten item. Ah, an adventurer. Precisely what we needed. Not a moment ago, we dispatched our newest recruit, Artor, to inspect me, Keto's amphitheater. Regrettably, the young here has more spirit than sense, and he charged off without his tools. Suffice it to say, he won't be getting any work done. Would you be so kind as to deliver them to him? Wonderful. Seek out Lohe in the acorn orchard behind the atrium. He should have Artor's tools. Tools from this guy here. Adele sent you? Give me a moment. Here they are, still fresh and unused as the day he got them. Doubt he's even realized he left the bloody things behind. First day and he forgets his tools. Daft sod needs a kick up the... For friendship. Niccolo needs the assistance of a kind adventurer. I know all about adventurers. You'd do anything for a reward, won't you? Well then, I want you to make Hanio laugh. She's no good with strangers, so first you should introduce yourself politely, with a bow. And this is basically the how to use emotes tutorial. So we go up to her, and bow. Hi. That seemed to work, but she still looks sad. Try sharing the joy in your heart with her. That'll prove how nice you are. You're odd. I think she's starting to like you. Good. Now that you've broken the ice, I bet you that if you surprise her and just start dancing, she'll laugh her head off. You're a really good dancer, miss. That looked like fun. Maybe I should try it sometime. Thank you. You're pretty good at this. Aniel lost her family 5 years ago during all the fighting. She hasn't laughed much since then. So I wanted to... I mean, we're all worried, but a lot of the younglings have been following me around lately, and... you wouldn't understand. Anyway, thanks for the help. Anything for some XP and some gold, right? Do not believe there are any other quests in the area, so we're going to go up here to Old Gridania to continue some of our quests. We have a shard here nearby, and a quest over by the Conjurer's Guild. Essential oil. Rhea is busy with preparations for the coming ceremony and needs an adventurer to bring her scarlet oil. Might you perchance be comfortable around Vilekin? If so, I have an urgent need of your assistance. You see, I was preparing for the forthcoming auguries when I found, to my great embarrassment, that we lacked the requisite quantity of scarlet oil. If it is not too much to ask, I would be most grateful if you could resupply us in time for the ceremony. Scarlet oil can be harvested from ladybugs, such as those found near the Bannock. 6 of the Vilekin should yield the necessary amount. Pray return to me as soon as you have it. Certainly filling up on quests here, but it will eventually all boil down to a couple of kill quests outside, once we've kind of gotten the tour of Gridania. You will see people running around in high-level gear as they this is one of the legacy servers where they have brought people over from 1.0. And so there are certainly people who are level 50 already. Incense and Sensibility. The Conjurer Melanie seeks an assistant for her frantically busy student. You there. You're an adventurer, yes? Good. I have a task for you. Take yourself over to the Conjurer's Guild and speak with my student, Brea. She has her hands full preparing for the auguries and would likely welcome your assistance. In her excitement at becoming a conjurer, I fear my young disciple is pushing herself beyond the limits of her endurance. Enthusiasm is all well and good, but it would not do to have an initiate collapse from exhaustion. Which sends us back to the Conjurer's Guild, but I won't go there quite yet, because we can teleport there. Let's see. Why don't we head up here to the Growery? I'm trying to think of a decent order to do these things in that won't involve too much backtracking. Covered in Roses. A botanist named Samian is hoping that an adventurer will pick up scattered rose hips for her. Stop right there. Not another step. I apologize if I startled you, but please be careful. The ground here is covered in rose hips. You see, my seed pouch had grown so threadbare that it finally split open. Unbeknown to myself, I've been scattering Eorzia rose hips all along this road. Oh, good madam, if you would help me gather them, I'd be ever so grateful. Thank you. Your kindness is truly a blessing from the elements. The rose hips should be lying on the road between here and the Great Lone Glory. Remember to tread lightly, lest you crush them underfoot. And they are, well, rather large for having fallen out of a pack. And while we're here, we will grab this quest as well. Once bitten, twice shy. A botanist named Eltharad needs an adventurer to make a delivery on his behalf. Gods damn it, another adventurer? You're like flies on muck. Whatever Gridania did to deserve such a plague, I don't know. Spits. I suppose times are changing, and they keep telling me I should, and perhaps you might be... Oh, gods help me, Just take this Eorzia rose to While the Grove's still great fame, will you? What are you standing there for? Go and deliver the bloody rose. Not exactly the most friendly of characters. We'll grab this Aethernet shard while we're here. And then head back to turn in the rose hips. Good madam, pray tell me you have recovered all the rose hips and abandoned not one to a traveler's boot. Basic instructions here to just hand over an item. Blessings be upon you. I feared this path would be lined with roses next year. Not that such a wondrous sight would be wholly objectionable, but Eorzia roses are ill-suited to this location. As a botanist, it's my responsibility to see Gridania's plants grow and thrive in the most ideal conditions. A place for every seed and every seed in its place, you might say. It is most gracious of you to aid me in my time of need. I pray the elements extend you the same kindness. Leveling up with the classic Final Fantasy victory theme. Sylphic Gratitude. As Stain, the caretaker of Mikedo's amphitheater, needs an adventurer to help her tidy up. Greetings, traveler. Come to see Mikedo's famed amphitheater, have you? I am Stain, caretaker of this fine centerpiece of Gridanian culture, and I fear I must needs trouble you for your assistance. You see, it is not only well-meaning women like yourself who are drawn to this place. The sylphs often visit in the dead of night, long after our citizens have gone to bed. We have no particular objection to their presence, and they seem grateful for the accommodation. So much so, in fact, last night they left us a token of their appreciation, in the form of vegetables. A lot of vegetables. Your generosity is more than welcome, of course, but the sheer quantity of the things makes gathering them all somewhat of a chore. And it's not as if I don't have enough to do already. In short, I'd be most grateful for any help you could give me. First, we will hand over the tools to this guy who forgot them. What? I'm terribly busy right now, but thank you not to bother me. Carpenter of the prestigious Oak Atrium, and have repairs to... Where did I put my... Oh gods, I take it from the guild too then. What's that? Idel sent you? With my tools? Ah yes, I was actually just about to go and... This is so embarrassing. My apologies, it's just... I've been so focused on the task at hand. You know, it's a miracle this amphitheater even survived the calamity. It was the Carpenters Guild that saved it, moving it piece by piece and rebuilding it. When I saw what they had done for Gridania, I knew what I wanted to be. But gods, when they told me my first task was to come here... Anyway, thank you for bringing my tools. You're new to the Oak Atrium too, right? Let's both work hard for the good of the guild, eh? Oh, may the elementals watch over you and keep you safe. And now to go pick a bunch of vegetables. Missing one somewhere. There it is. Well done, friend. Mikedo herself would sing you praise. She knew well the power of art, how it could strengthen the soul of a nation and preserve its history for future generations. The amphitheater was her greatest gift to Gridania, and it was her wish that all folk use it freely, not only for performances and festivals, but as a place to share memories and make new ones. I wonder if the sylphs come here to do that. That said, I do wish they would find other ways to express their gratitude. We have no need of vegetables here, but mayhap the Caroline Canopy can make use of them. Anyway, thanks be to the elementals for bringing you here today. Jumasada is in need of an adventurer to deliver a message. You there, adventurer, could you deliver a message for me? My superior, Millicent, is stationed outside Atelier Fen-E. She's doubtless busy, but I'm past due to be relieved. Long past due, truth be told. However, I simply can't abandon my post. Speak to her for me, will you? But choose your words wisely. She has a bit of a temper. What's all this about? Dissamon says he needs his break. The nerve of that sniveling little shite, crying for relief at a time like this. Has he already forgotten how short-handed we are since the business with the Ixal the other day? And sending a bloody unknown venturer to do his bleating, no less. This self-serving sod thinks only of his own woes, rubbing his sore soles while welcoming all manner of guild-grabbing adventurers into our holy wood. Useless bloody fool. Makes me blood boil, it does. But it's not you I should be giving a piece of me mind to. You seem a decent enough sort, considering. Still, understand that it's our duty to keep an eye on every stranger that passes through these parts. Any road, I appreciate you lending an ear to my subordinate. Damn fool that he is. Go on then, and stay out of trouble. A few more potions out of that. gradually working our way over to the markets. Greetings, madam. May you be looking to secure the services of a retainer? Oh, mouse is stuck again. What's this? A missive from us, you say? Whatever could it be about? Let me see now. She wants to know about the available stock of potions at the markets. Hardly a matter that warrants a letter, much less the hiring of a courier. Why could she not ask the question in person? I sense that adventurers from beyond our borders find Gridania somewhat difficult to deal with. Are we truly so devoid of warmth? If we mistrust outsiders, it's only because so many of them have brought in chaos to the Twelveswood, and such sins as theirs are not soon forgotten. Yet, I suppose we might endeavor to be a little less cold. By what right does a fledgling adventurer presume to address Parsimontre, master of the markets? You think you can stroll in here, bold as you please, and demand my hard-earned knowledge? Ha! A merchant does not for naught, especially when dealing with would-be heroes. If, on the other hand, you have some tasty morsel to curry my favor, then I might reconsider your request. Come now, this whole encounter reeks of Mione's handiwork, and more specifically, her baking. Don't look surprised, lass. I smelled that eel pie of yours a mile away. Hand it over. That flaky crust, just divine. Very well, I'm a man of my word. Pay close attention, for I shall only explain this once. The aspiring adventurer need look no further than the rosewood and ebony stalls. Both are but a short stroll from where we stand. If you mean to do battle, you best be prepared with a quality set of weapons and armor. Such goods are the province of the Rosewood Stalls, directly south of here. You will be pleased to learn that the merchants of Gridania are exceedingly particular when it comes to craftsmanship, so you needn't fear defective straps and the like. If it is potions and paraphernalia you seek, head north to the Ebony Stalls. The shelves are lavishly stocked by widely traveled Uldan merchants, and I may truly say that I have seen things amongst the myriad wares that I scarce knew existed. Do you follow me thus far? The first step in any purchase is to select the stalls that meet your needs. Then you may concern yourself with price and profit. There is little more I can teach you with mere words. Go, peruse the stalls, and see for yourself what wares they offer. There is no substitute for first-hand experience, and after all, and I am weary of talking, unless you have another eel pie. We will, however, talk to him again. The master of the market, Parsimontre, is willing to permit an adventurer to assist him in fulfilling an order from the Lancers Guild. I take it my previous explanation did not suffice to sate your curiosity. Very well, if you wish to know more of the markets, I shall give you a practical education free of charge. As master of the markets, I entertain many requests, this order from the whalers, for example, but I delegate their fulfillment to my hirelings, that I might tend to such tasks as I alone am capable of performing. For your personal betterment, I shall delegate the fulfillment of this particular request to you. I bid you search the stalls for a bone spearhead, a pot of beeswax oil, and a length of brambleweed rope, and deliver them to Singulid of the Lancers Guild. There is much and more to be found in these stalls, if you have the dedication to seek it and the coin to procure it. However, as my representative, you need only offer my name as payment, none will deny me. In fact, many will be all too eager to part with their wares, so numerous are the debts that I am owed. A fine proposition, is it not? I am spared a simple task, and you gain priceless mercantile experience. Why, I should rightly charge you for such an opportunity. But worry not, I am a man of my word, and the terms will stand. Deliver the goods to Singulid, and she may even see fit to reward you. Welcome, welcome. At the behest of good Master Parsimontre, you say. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company today, milady? May I take this opportunity to say that it is an honor and a privilege to serve you. But you must have your beeswax oil without delay. Yes, yes. Feel free to take as much as you require, and you will, of course, inform Master Parsimontre that I was only too happy to accommodate his needs, won't you? Sorry, lass, we ain't open yet. Oh, one of porcelain trays. Well then, what was it you said you wanted? A bone spearhead? Ah, here she is. Take it. Tell that bastard we're square. And now to the north. You got discerning eyes, miss. The craftsmanship's truly something, ain't it? Perfect for securing any manner of porcelain tray. Gods, if I never hear that bloody name again, it'll be too soon. And there I was thinking I might make a guild today. Here, take the damn brambleweed rope and bugger off. And now up north, to where the Lancers Guild is. Now that we've attuned ourselves to all the Aethernet shards in Gridania, we actually can teleport directly to the Blue Badger Gate and the Yellow Serpent Gate, which are ways to get directly to the outer world without having to teleport close and then run out. What business have you with me, adventurer? You come upon the bidding of Master Parsemontre? Hand over the items we picked up. So soon? I'm impressed. I placed my order only a short time ago, yet here are all the items I requested. Truly, Master Parsemontre is every bit as resourceful as they say. You are fortunate to work under such a man. You would do well to mold yourself in his image if you have any aspirations as a merchant. Let's head on in. More quests here. Voicelant of the Lancers Guild wants a fledgling adventurer to deal with a squirrel problem. Ah, fresh-faced adventurer, the very manner of person I had wished to meet. The Lancers Guild is looking for someone to track down and exterminate half a dozen squirrels. The infernal pests have been squeezing in under the floorboards every eve for the past several moons, and gnawing away at the support pillars. Yet to inflict any serious structural damage, thank the builder, but I hesitate to bring such a trifling matter before the wood whalers or the gods quiver. Hence my delight at your timely arrival. Why an adventurer could not dispatch such woodland nuisances is not worthy of the name. Not here in Gridania, at any rate. And you know what becomes of incapable adventurers. But perhaps it is best you do not. The squirrels of which I spoke can be found in the central shroud. Return to me once you have disposed of them, assuming the task is not beyond you. For your sake, I sincerely hope it is not. And talk here to the guild receptionist. Welcome to the Lancers Guild. I see you brought your own spear. If you seek to refine your skills with a polearm, then you have come to the right place. Here at the Lancers Guild, spear wielders gather to trade with one another, and further hone their abilities under the tutelage of our fine instructors. More than just an instrument of war, the spear is also a tool for hunting, and with game ever plentiful in the Twelveswood, the weapon has been the mainstay of the locals here since the founding of Gridania. With the passing of time, our nation has become a gathering place for spearmasters from across the realm, many eager to test their mettle against the famed might of our wood whalers. And it was here in Gridania that the myriad fighting styles came into contact, eventually giving rise to the Haute Tarte here today. That spear technique could be formalized all owed much to the founding of the Lancers Guild by woodwhaler Captain Mistal nigh on a century past. The tradition of accepting students from without as well as from within Gridania's borders persists to this day, ensuring that the art of the polearm may not only survive but also continue to evolve. Well, there you have it. I hope this brief history of the guild has helped settle any doubts in your mind. The Lancers Guild is always eager to welcome new initiates. If you have a will to enlist, speak with me again and we can begin the enrollment procedures. Well then, have you made up your mind to enlist in the Lancers Guild? Jillian wishes to reaffirm your desire to join the Lancers Guild. Excellent. I shall let Guildmaster Wayne know to expect you. All who speak admittance into our ranks must present themselves before him. He will judge if you are fit to become one of us. Pray make your way to the training area within. Our Guildmaster awaits you there. There you are. Well met, adventurer. I understand you wish to learn the Lancer's art under our roof. Though you have doubtless brandished a spear before this day, and perhaps even in earnest, you still have a long way to go before you may call yourself a Lancer in sooth. In my capacity as Guildmaster, I shall guide your training, beginning with the very basics, the principles of our art. There exist myriad fighting styles, each of which has its own unique qualities. None, however, can claim to be as offensively minded as ours. Our approach is ever one attack, no matter who of what we face. An experienced lancer is able to wield a polearm as if it were an extension of his body. He transforms into a raging storm before his foes, delivering a barrage of devastating thrusts and slashes. To facilitate such a relentless assault, we lancers forego plate, favoring armor of leather and chain, such materials as provide adequate protection without unduly hindering movement. A lancer's worth may be measured quite simply, in how swiftly and decisively he can pierce his enemy's defenses. By its nature, the polearm is a simple weapon to wield, for good or ill. Even in a farmer's hands, it is capable of wreaking considerable havoc. Thus, it has been a mainstay of every great army since ancient times. Yet know that a lance alone does not a lancer make. Faced with unfavorable odds, an unseasoned spearman will break formation and flee without a moment's hesitation. A true lancer, however, flinches not before his enemies, for he knows not the meaning of fear. Ever does he press forward, disdainful of the odds, that he might pierce the enemy line and open a path to victory. Needless to say, doing so requires no small amount of courage, and that is why our guild has striven from the first to instill this essential quality in every soul who passes through our halls. Arduous trials await you should you join our ranks. Knowing this, have you the resolve to wield the lance? Of course we do. Otherwise, we can't get any farther in the game. Well said, adventurer. I see no reason to deny you a place within our ranks. But I neglected to introduce myself. I am Eorzia, master of this guild. Pleasantries duly exchanged, I hereby assign you your first task, a trial to be precise. In order to develop an affinity with your weapon and learn to gauge such things as distance, you are to go forth and brandish your spear with reckless abandon. The squirrels, ladybugs, and fungars that roam just outside the city should provide you with suitable challenge. Put down, let us say, 3 of each, and then report back to me. So, got our first class quest for the Lancers. And looks like we just have our kill quests and some turn-ins. We know we already have all the aetherite shards. So, let's see. We do need to teleport here to the Conjurer's Guild for some turn-ins, so let's do that. I know this video is going long, but I'm trying to finish up kind of the tour of Gridania before cutting it off. Welcome, adventurer, to the Conjurer's Guild. Here we commune with the elementals and heed their guidance. Yet I must confess, the elementals did not whisper of your coming. Hand over the rose. We did indeed request an Assailment rose from Ithred, but that you should bring it to us in his stead means that something wonderful has happened. For as long as I can remember, Ithred has held a grudge against the many adventurers who have passed through Gridania's gates. His beloved flowers are renowned for their beauty, you see, and were once so highly coveted by Uldan collectors that they were picked nigh to extinction by fortune-seeking foreigners. Yet if it is peace we desire, we must all learn to look beyond mistrust born of the past and overcome our prejudices. So has the elder seed seer taught us, and so do we live. I doubt it was easy for Ethelred to entrust this Azemia rose to you. When he hears we have received it, he will come to know that not all outsiders are deserving of scorn. Truly, it was by the will of the elementals that you came to us this day. Please accept this as a token of our gratitude. You even got an achievement for it. Yes? Yes, I am Brea, but I'm awfully bit... Oh, you say Lady Million herself asked you to assist me? In that case, I suppose you might lend a hand, especially as mine appear to be shaking, though only very slightly. Not that it's anything to worry about, more nervous energy. You would be exceedingly grateful if you would take this Azemia rose oil and refill the sensors. There are 2 that require attention. Please have a care not to disturb the conjurers amidst their meditations. You must be as quiet and as unobtrusive as possible. And this basically teaches you how to use items in the world in order to progress quests. So, and we can also just highlight and click the button here on the quest tracker. My thanks. I must admit to being rather impressed by how faithfully you followed my instructions. I had always considered adventurers to be uncouth and rowdy lot, but I see you are capable of courtesy as well. Lady Melanie has a fine eye for character. You should feel honored that she chose you for the task. We get her to be a pick between a potion and ether, and we're going to go with potions because, well, we're a melee-oriented class and don't really need mana yet. Time to head back out, and let's see where we want to actually teleport to, because I believe we're done with the quests here in Old Gridania. So we need to go back to the Adventurers Guild, and that appears to be it, except for the kill quests. So let's head back to the Aetheryte Plaza. Thick fog there, which is all part of some of the wide variety of weather this game has, which is pretty nice. A conquering hero returns. You've completed my little tasks, I trust. The 3 locations you visited will feature prominently in your life as an adventurer. It's best you grow familiar with them as soon as possible. And you took the time to listen to the woes of the citizenry. I cannot emphasize how important it is to lend your talents to one and all, no matter how trivial the matter may seem. I am thankful that you are an obliging sort, Callowin. It is adventurers like you who will win the hearts of the locals and pave the way for those who follow. I pray Gridania can rely on your aid in its struggles to come. Pick up the next one here. As you may imagine, the Twelves would have scarcely begun to recover from the devastation wrought by the calamity, and Gridania wants for all the help it can get. I hope we can count on yours. Though I will not deny there are those among us who view outsiders with suspicion. If you play your part, they will come to see adventurers are the very salve our nation so sorely needs. And we won't actually be able to pick up the next quest here until level 4. And looks like we actually have another quest here. Tada Osa needs someone to return an iron snaffle he accidentally took from Tree Speak stables. Crunch, 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 crunch. Spit. What the? This isn't a... I must have mistaken this metal bit for a nut what's out foraging for food in the forest. Spare snaffle misplaced by some sorry soul from Tree Speak stables, I suspect. It was in their vague vicinity that I amassed the majority of my masticable morsels. Well, I've already had a healthy helping of these here nuts, so I won't be walking for a while. May I trouble you to take this to Tree Speak stables in my stead? Prior to parting, pray speak to Barna Botanist at the Yellow Serpent Gate. Listen well to his directions or you're liable to get lost. Let's see. Does he want us to go back to... Alright. As much as I'd like to continue this, we are already approaching an hour of recording time, which will probably end up being close to an hour in terms of once it's edited, just because I don't anticipate cutting a whole lot out, because most of it's been questing at a relatively good pace. So thank you all for watching. We'll be back with more quests and hopefully more combat in Final Fantasy XIV.